Welcome everyone to the CCD75 calendar meeting for May 2024. We thank you for your time and your consideration for being present. We will now call this meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. Haylene, may we have a roll call?
Sure. Christy Angel,
Present.
Brisa Aria, Jamaica Collins, Andrea Daniels,
Present.
Christy Montavon,
Present.
Shanique Butler,
Present.
John Herman, and Vanessa Borrero. No, we didn't hear you. I think they heard you from here.
Yes.
Present.
Okay, so we do not have quorum this evening. We have
And
5
email-
members.
Thank you. An email did just come through from Councilmember Collins, and she did state that she won't be able to make it, but she will be able to jump on virtually, possibly later today. So with this being said, this meeting is unofficial. However, we do want to take a moment of silence before we do move forward. As many of you may not know or may know, we did lose a student recently from our District 75 school system. And within that same school, they've lost a few staff members. And we do understand that our superintendent, Kettler, is in the space as of right now. The school was P373K. And Dr. Hoggard and Ms. Kleinberg will be here tonight to support the superintendent as he is standing in the gap for all of us as family members of District 75, as parents who do lend our prayers and support for the family member that has lost a child. So if we can take a moment of silence for the child. We do thank you for your continued thoughts and prayers for the family members and staff members of this school. As we move forward, before we jump into the appointment of timekeeper, this meeting is being translated. So if the translation for it, we have Spanish, Mandarin, and Bangla. So I will give the Spanish interpreter the floor to give your instructions. Do we have a Spanish interpreter present?
Sí, buenas, ahora le vamos a dar las instrucciones de cómo pueden escuchar la reunión en español. Pueden marcar el número 347-966-4114 con el número de identificación 320-664-969, signo de número. Repito, 347-966-4114, número de identificación 320-664-969, signo de número. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Bangla, you have the floor to give your instructions.
The following message is in Bangla. শুভ সন্ধ্যা বাংলাভাষী অভিভাবক যারা এখানে উপস্থিত আছেন। আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানটা বাংলায় শুনতে চাইলে আপনারা অনুগ্রহ করে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114। আমি আবারও বলছি নাম্বারটা 347-966-4114। এরপর যখন আইডি চাবে তখন আপনারা ডায়াল করবেন 442-449-372#। আমি আবারও বলছি আইডি নাম্বার হবে 442-449-372 এবং #। ধন্যবাদ। Thank you. The Bengali is over.
Thank you. Mandarin interpreters, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
Hello, the following announcement will be in Mandarin. 晚上好，欢迎大家来参加本次会议。如果需要中文、普通话翻译的家长们，请您拨打电话347-966-4114，然后再输入会议的 ID 774-308-715，井号键。再播报一遍，需要中文、普通话翻译的家长们，请你们拨打电话347-966-4114，然后再输入会议的 ID 774-308-715，井号键，谢谢。Thank you, I'm done.
Thank you so much. With that, the next bullet point on our agenda will be to appoint a timekeeper. Do we have a council member that's willing to keep time? Or Haylene, would you like to try the app as we move through?
So yeah, I can definitely try the app, but I would hope someone would be a timekeeper as well.
Okay. Do we have someone that is willing to help assist in keeping time tonight?
I don't think she can hear you.
I'll do it, co-president Christy Angel.
Thank you so much. Next, we do have a presentation from Robert Williams from the Office of Language Access. Is Mr. Williams present?
Yes, I am. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Williams, do you have access to share your PDF or your deck?
Yes, I'm going to try to share right now.
Thank you so much. I give the floor over to you to give us the information that we are here for language, presentation, and access. Thank you.
Oops, sorry. Go back. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? My name is Robert Williams. I am the point person for all parent engagements at the Office of Language Access. And I'm going to go over how to navigate the nyc.gov Hello webpage step by step for parents to be able to locate whether or not they want to have translations or interpretations. So the agenda here, I'm going to go over the NYC Public Schools background, our commitment to NYC's public schools families. Like I said before, I'm going to go over the schools.nyc.gov Hello webpage. Then we're going to talk about raising awareness, and then we get into questions and answers. So there are over 1 million students in over 1,600 plus schools that speak over 180 languages. Approximately 40% of NYC public schools households speak a language other than English at home. The Office of Language Access is dedicated to supporting both staff and families by providing the resources necessary for effective communication in the languages other than English. So not only am I presenting to families, but our office also train school staff to support families as well. And the NYC's public schools' top 9 non-English languages are Arabic, Bangla, Chinese, French, Haitian Creole, Korean, Russian, Spanish, and Urdu. So here is a little snapshot of District 5 parent preferred languages. As you can see, we have Chinese, Bangla, Mandarin, Arabic, Russian, Haitian Creole, Cantonese, and we also have some Urdu families as well. So just want to keep in mind that when we're translating documents for families, to try to translate for all of these families so that no one is left out. So the Office of Language Access supports NYC public schools offices and public schools with translation and interpretation services for families whose preferred language is other than English. Our translation team, which is our largest group, they specialize in providing written language services. Our interpretation team works with our contractor interpretation vendors to ensure schools receive services for in-person, virtual, and over-the-phone parental engagements. Our outreach team focuses on promoting equitable language access services to schools and empowering NYC public school parents to understand and advocate for their language access rights. Our office continues to pursue innovation and partnerships to be the nation's leader of language access in schools. We collaborate with advocates to identify needs and address language barriers in our ever-changing communities. We engage parent leaders to enhance the message of language access to our communities. We pursue innovating ways to engage with and receive feedback from families, like some online portals, emails, robocalls, text messages, and direct mailers. We leverage technology to continuously enhance the interpretation experience for families, such as virtual meetings. We ensure translation quality, such as professional translation tools. And we keep a pulse of citywide parent language data and translation interpretation service outputs. So the NYC Public Schools free language services include, I'm gonna repeat that, the NYC Public Schools free language services include interpretation for all meetings and interactions with NYC Public School staff, translation of general documents into the NYC Public Schools top 9 non-English languages. And some examples of those documents include a parent newsletter or some event flyers, translation of individualized documents into a parent's preferred language upon request. And some examples of those include IEPs, which is the individualized educational programs, Section 504 plans, which is a medical accommodation. So that accommodation goes such as, let's say if your child has anxiety, test anxiety, you go to the school, request the 504 form, take that form to your primary doctor. If the doctor deems fit that your child does have anxiety, then you'll bring that form back to the school, and now your child can receive extra time on their test. We also translate foreign transcripts into any language, not just the top 9 English languages that I mentioned before. We translate foreign transcripts into any language. So here, I'm gonna show you how to navigate through the nyc.gov website. You're gonna notice at the top right, there's a Google dropdown. Just click which language that you prefer, and the entire page, the entire website will change into that language. Well, please note, automatic translations are intended to replace human translators and are provided as a service to users of the website. Some content such as images, videos, animation, etc., may not be translated due to the limitations of the translation software. Here's a little short video.
New York City Public Schools speak your language. Did you know that New York City families speak over 180 languages? All New York City Public Schools provide translation services for documents and interpreters for meetings. For example, if not already provided, you can request the following services from your child's school: translation of report cards and school letters, translation of individualized education programs, IEPs, evaluations and other special education documents, and interpretation services for meetings with teachers and other school staff members. For more information and resources, or to provide feedback on the services offered by your school, visit schools.nyc.gov/hello or call 311.
So I'm not sure if you noticed, as it was planned, I was changing the language with the CC so that if it's going to play English, you can also have the words change into whichever preferred language that you would like. And once again, at the top right, you'll see I'll circle the Google drop down as where you can change the whole web page into that language. So right under that video, the first tab will read, families may request language services. So families may complete the translation and interpretation service request form to request language services. The NYC Public Schools Office of Language Access will forward your request to the appropriate school, office, or Committee on Special Education. And this form is also translated into the top 9 non-English languages. Please note that language services may vary depending on the type of school the student attends. Parents can also call 311 to make a request for language services. Interpretation over the phone is available in over 200 plus languages. So let's say you wanted to click on the Translation and Interpretation Service request form. On the left, this is how the Google form would look. But before you go here, please go to your school for immediate support first. Before you come here, please go to your school for immediate support first. Now, if the school is unavailable to help you with your request, then come fill out the Translation Interpretation Service request form. Your request will be forwarded to your student's school or program. This form is also translated into the top 9 non-English languages. And for those who do not have a computer at home, you can use your phone to scan the QR code. So I've had questions of, so let's say, Mr. Williams, I did fill this out. Then what? What happens after that? So I get a notification directly to my personal email. It doesn't go to an office email inbox. It goes to my personal email box. I answer my emails every day. If it's after hours, like right now, then I won't get to it, obviously, until the next morning. But rest assured, within 24 hours, your request will be answered. So what happens is so you can fill in your name if you choose, or you can fill this out anonymously. It's totally up to you. So if you did fill it out anonymously, I would send a general email to the principal saying, hey, Mr. Williams, a parent filled out the service request form. They said that they needed help in Arabic. Please reach out to all your Arabic families to make sure that you support them. Now, if you filled out your name and your contact information, then the email will be a little different. I'll say, hey, Mr. Williams, Mr. Smith said that he was not supported in Arabic during a parent-teacher conference. Can you please reach out to Mr. Smith and please let us know when you supported that parent so that we can close it on our end. So the very next tab underneath reads Important Translation Resources. Here you will find health forms and notices, enrollment forms, special education communications, and at the bottom, we're going to take a look at the language access families brochure. Here inside the brochure, you will find I speak cards. So let's say right here it says I speak Russian. You would just tear out that little portion of the I speak Russian, go to your school, and your school must provide you support, whether it's translation or interpretation in that language. We also have Arabic, Bangla, Cantonese, Mandarin as well. Once again, just tear out your portion of the language that you speak and hand it to your school, and they must provide you support in your language. So the very next tab underneath that reads Get Help in Your Language. If you or someone you know needs help receiving information or communication with a school staff member in a language other than English, please tell your school's principal or parent coordinator, call 311, or you can visit the Contact Us form. And this form is also translated into the top 9 non-English languages. So if you click on that form, on the left is a snapshot on how the form would look. Just complete the form. Your inquiry will be addressed accordingly. Like I said, this form is translated into the top 9 English languages. And we also provided a QR code for those who just want to scan with their phone. So the very next tab underneath reads Having Difficulties Obtaining Language Assistance. If you are having difficulties obtaining language assistance, you can click on Get Help or File a Complaint. You can also provide feedback on the NYC Public Schools Language Services by completing our Translation Interpretation Feedback Survey, or you can call 311. So if you click on this form, on the left, you see a snapshot of how the form will look. Just complete the form. Once again, your inquiry will be addressed accordingly. It's also available in the top 9 English languages and also provided a QR code as well. So here we're going to talk about how we raised awareness in our communities. We have advertised through schools, grocery stores, laundromats, nail, hair, and barber salons, pharmacies, and what's not on here is that we have advertised in the MTA train systems and on the MTA buses as well. We have done direct outreach, direct parent outreach with robocalls, emails, text messages, and postcards like the one you see on the right. If for some reason you're saying, hey, I didn't receive an email or text message, please go to your school's main office and just check to make sure all your information is updated. A lot of times we can change numbers or we move, but our office pulls from the same system that all schools enter the information in. So if you have not received any one of these, please go to your school just to make sure all your information is updated. So, are there any questions?
I do have a quick question as we open it up to council members. In regard to needing translation, I saw that it said newsletters and flyers. I wasn't aware of the newsletters. That would be great. However, I use like the Adobe Suite to translate it on my own. Is that similar to what you guys use, or am I kind of taking a chance doing that?
Good question. So,
and also, oh, go
okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, in the sense of when we have different surveys that are, since we're a citywide council and we have a survey that it's very large, can we use you guys for that? My understanding was that we couldn't. So I guess my question is, could you clarify what we can use you for so that moving forward, we can accurately use your department accordingly?
So yes. So let me clarify one thing, because I've had this question in other CECs. I know presidents wear different hats. The CEC president wear different hats. It can be the CEC president, also the PTA president. So as a CEC member, your direct support to have documents translated and to have an interpretation, of course, you would go to Haylene. Did I say that part? Okay, go to Haylene because she's the point for your district. If you're wearing the hat as the PTA president, your direct support would be the parent coordinator. And if some schools do not have a parent coordinator, if not, then it would be the administration, either the assistant principal or the principal. And then, because they would then submit documents to us, and then we would then send it back after it's translated to them, and then they'll forward it to you. So I just want to clear that, because I know there has been confusion of other CEC members. They didn't know who to go to or who should be able to support them. So for Adobe Suite, we have it's probably not the right choice of words, but humans that actually translate at our office. We don't use machine. It's not machine translated. We have actual translators out at our office to make sure that everything is accurate. When you use machine translation, unless you speak that preferred language, you wouldn't know if there were any mistakes. And that's risky. Plus, you have to be mindful. There are a lot of machine translation tools that store information. Now, you want to be mindful not to use any PII, any personal identifiable information, any students' information, because they store it, and we don't know what they do with that information. So we try to stay away from machine translation. Now, I do know. Well, not just. I'm just talking about in general. Flyers, something different.
Okay.
But even with flyers, you would need someone to actually who knows. Like if you translate in Bangla and you do not speak Bangla, who is proofreading the flyer, making sure that all the words are correct, and none of the words are offensive to any Bangla families. Because that actually has happened before. A school used a machine translation, not knowing, because they didn't speak the language, so they didn't know that there were certain words that were offensive. So the parent wrote saying that, these words are not appropriate to send out. So, for like flyers, text messages, short things, you can use machine translation. But, as a caveat, there's always somewhere below, especially when you send out text messages or little short emails, as a CYA, just put down, this was machine translated. If there are any concerns or issues, please reach out to Mr. Williams so that he can correct the issue. Just the CYA, because we don't want to. We're trying to stay away from offending any family.
Yes. Yes. But asking you that when we have the newsletters or if we have surveys that need to go out, what's the turnaround time that we should expect if we send that to you? And is that something that, like, what are the things you don't translate?
Well, as far as newsletters and flyers, there is a time frame. Let me try to tap into my memory. From 0 to 1,000 words, that would normally take roughly 3 to 5 business days. From 1,000 to 3,000, that roughly take 5 to 10 business days. And our translation unit works on a first come, first serve basis. So if there were certain people in front of you, then you would have to wait your turn. But they're generally quick when it comes to certain things. Just make sure you submit the documents.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. The time is almost up.
Okay, with that, I'll thank you, Mr. Williams. Does any other council members have any questions for Mr. Williams? I don't want to take the last few seconds. I apologize.
Yes.
If I don't see any hands, Mr. Williams, do you want to wrap up for those last 5 seconds or any?
Sure. Oh, and we don't translate PowerPoints. If you were, that's one of the things we don't. But newsletters, flyers,
Surveys?
Surveys is tricky. I think we do. I would submit that because I'm pretty sure we do translate surveys.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. If we do not have any questions from the council members, Haylene, thank you, Mr. Williams, so much for your time and for your presentation. Haylene, could you pull the agenda back up for us to share? Thank you so much. The next thing that we have is the approval of minutes. As we do not have quorum, members, please do make sure that you go over the minutes that were distributed by our AA Haylene so that we are ready for our next meeting where we are able to vote on those minutes. There is a bylaws amendment proposal. I'll go ahead and go over it, although we are not able to vote on that. Haylene, would you be able to pull that up so we can speak on that with council members, please?
Sure.
Thank you. So for our council members, I wanted to bring it to our attention. We are using the most recent template that was given to us from FACE through the chancellor's regs, et cetera. With that being said, there was a space that I do believe we could be further supported as a council. So this is a proposal for the transition of power for the executive board. The highlighted section below will be motion to insert the following language into our current bylaws to ensure continuity and fluid transfer of power for the council. Currently, it says the president, co-president shall be the chief executive officer of the council. The president shall call and preside all meetings, execute all documents on behalf of the council, and exercise all other powers, and perform all other duties pertaining to the office of president. The president shall have a vote upon all questions before the council, and the president shall be an ex officio member of all committees. The president shall supervise the administrative assistant to the council on its behalf. The president shall approve all member reimbursements except his or her own, which shall be approved by the treasurer. The addendum would be, the president, co-president shall prepare for the June transfer of records, including inventory checklists, sign-in checklists, and all pertinent user IDs and passwords to the incoming president, co-presidents. Keys to the office should be provided to the incoming president, co-president, no later than 72 hours after election. This is a segment that we're looking to include because for the last few years, we've not transferred power appropriately. Documents have not been moved over to make sure that people are informed and fluidly what's going on. So when you all have a moment, if you would please just review that insert, and then we can vote on this at our next business meeting to make sure that we keep the continuity of the council flowing correctly. Do we have any questions on that?
Hello?
Yes, President Daniels.
So, you can hear me?
Yes.
All right, Co-President Christy Angel. Also, we discussed about the time frame of the meeting. Remember? From the 6 to 6:30 or something like that. We've been starting sometimes at 6, but our meeting is usually started at 6:30 as per bylaws.
Yes.
So to remind you.
Thank you so much for that. The secondary amendment for consideration for our next meeting will be that we need to include in the bylaws that when we have joint meetings, it starts at 6 p.m. Currently in our bylaws, all of our meetings start at 6:30, and we are technically starting a meeting earlier. We can technically through Robert's rules, but if we're going to do that in a continued basis, we want to make sure that those coming after us understand for this type of meeting, we do this, for the other meeting, we do that. Something for consideration that we can speak and or vote upon at our business meeting. Do we have any further thoughts or considerations for the amendments? If not, Haleen, if you could pull up the agenda so we can see what our next session that we're moving on to. Let me pull it up on email too.
All right, all done.
Thank you so much. So our next is the report of the co-presidents. Co-president Daniels, would you like to go first, or would you like me to speak? If you would like to go first, you have the floor.
You could go first. Give me a few minutes.
Okay. Well, so far, I wanted to go ahead and let the council know that we, co-president and I, have been going through a couple things in regard to what we're doing as a council. One of them that we wanted to bring to the council was the CCD75 family support group, the parent support group. We have done this before as a council, and we do not have it currently. And as I have been looking at our different groups and social medias, there's a lot of parents that are stressed out, that are exhausted, that are overwhelmed, feel isolated and alone. And we should create a space along with those other people that work with our different communities to make sure that we're supporting our District 75 families. So we want to put that on our council's radar to make sure that we can speak about that and vote at our business meeting, in addition to seeing which members would like to be a part of that. In my mind's eye, I feel like we could have someone work with our different parent groups. We can create different decks to where different members can be comfortable, like leading our parents through conversation, because we want this to be more about them than us. Also, I wanted to bring up that as a council member, I've reached out to the commissioner for the co-response team and mental health with the New York Police Department. We have a lot of families that have a lot of different children that are in crisis, behavioral crisis, and things of that nature. And as we work through our different areas of support, I felt that it's very important that we can help alleviate a level of fear from families who need support. And so it's really amazing. The safety borough director is working with myself. She's going to join the meetings. The commissioner for mental health and co-response team, Detective Gallardo from the co-response team. And then we have Dr. Wright, who is a registered BCBA, LBA, all kinds of things, just trying to make sure that we come together to make crisis plans and spaces for our families to know that they are supported and remove different levels of fear. So I'm really happy that we're able to bring that to our families, and hopefully we'll be able to close that circle in June. If any council members want to join in, please let me know. I'm pushing this through our outreach committee, but the outreach committee is just advisory. So if you want in, please do let me know. The bigger the voice, the better. I'm trying to think if I am missing out on anything else. I cannot think of the Office of Autism. I've been speaking with Mark. He is going to come to us soon to give a presentation. So I did want to, once we get to the new business section, I do want to talk to council members about different presentations that we would like to see during our calendar meetings, because we want to make sure that we bring topics of information and resource to our people and parents and families that attend during our calendar meetings. With that, I will give the floor to Co-President Daniels. If I need to loop anything else in, I will do so. Thank you so much. You have the floor, Co-President Daniels.
Before you give me the floor, you could give them an update about your meeting last night for outreach.
Oh, the committee report?
The one we did yesterday virtually.
I mean, I can pull that up. It's below.
You give them an update on that because you did that yesterday.
Right. We haven't gotten to that bullet point yet, but I don't mind, since I'm here, we can go ahead and give an update. So it loops in actually with what Co-President Daniels is saying. As we were talking about families who need support with behaviors, with mental health, with different resources with their children, and they might have a fear of 911, they might have a fear of NYPD. In addition, we had a meeting last night with YAI, with NY Start, and they basically offer behavioral crisis assistance, help, and therapy. This is from the age of 6 all the way through whenever. They told me 54, they have people in that program. So what we're looking to do is cover our parents from young ages all the way till whatever you may transition out of. You may be a District 75 former student at home and you still need support. Well, District 75 will be there for you and your families. So we want to make sure that we cover that gap. And we had a really great meeting. The deck from that meeting will be on the website so that families will be able to have that information. I will try to share it out on Facebook. I might be kind of lengthy, so I'll see what I can do about that. Also, the meeting is already up on our YouTube page. I will put a link into the chat so that family members who were not there, you'll be able to have access and see the different types of resources that were available on last night. Thank you so much, Co-President Daniels. You have the floor.
Thank you, Co-President Christy Angel. So my updates, I have quite a few. So I have a safety committee meeting tomorrow, actually, at 6 p.m. And I got the guy from the director from travel training coming out there, David Abrams, to do a presentation about safety in regards to busing. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then my other committee meeting is the busing committee meeting. That's going to be on May 21st at 6 p.m., which is next week. And the busing committee, basically, me and my co-chair, we're going to be asking the parents about any updates or any problems with busing currently, besides the fact that the VIA app doesn't work and some other issues. We got a few emails about some new issues. that me and my co-chair will probably discuss at the meeting on the 21st. I have quite a few events I have to go to, mostly on behalf of the council. Tomorrow I'm going to a Bronx Council on Disabilities conference tomorrow at Maestro's from 8:30 to 3 p.m. That's tomorrow. I'm going there to gather up some resources and give out a couple of pamphlets about our council while I'm there as well, and try to network a bit. I also have to go to the believe it's at 4:30 in Manhattan. Tomorrow also I have to go to the teacher symposium event for our new coming teachers that are getting hired in District 75. I was invited to speak on behalf of the council. That's another thing I gotta do. Saturday, I was invited by the UFT and actually registered by the UFT, and I did not have to pay. I'm going to the Teacher Spring Conference on Saturday at the Hilton, and that's Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to be doing the Bronx Week Parade, which I'm on that committee with quite a few people that we help plan the D75 parents, we help them sign up to try to walk with us in the parade in regards to Bronx Week with Vanessa L. Gibson. She's been celebrating Bronx Week since like last week. So the final day is Sunday. And then after that, there's a festival for whoever wants to attend after the parade by Mashua Parkway in the Bronx. And then next week, I have to go to the Samuel Stern Awards also on May 21st and speak on behalf of the council. And that's a thing where I sat on DLT and I went through all these applications and we helped to select about 30, usually it's 12 students. We selected about 13 students this year because I think one of them was a tie to get that Samuel Stern Awards. I was one of the people, were actually the only parent that sat on the committee with the DOE employees and actually looked through those applications with these students and came to a final decision, which is always difficult, who's going to get what this year. It's very difficult to make that decision, but we got it done. And that's also on May 21st at Peruge College in the morning, the same day as my busing committee meeting that's virtually. On May 22nd, I'm doing a tabling event with Miss Wanda Yvette. We're doing a tabling event at it's at Montefiore Hospital. And it's in the morning, like the event tomorrow. And I believe it's all day again, probably up to like 2 or 3 o'clock again, like tomorrow's event that I'm doing with her, which is different. But, this one was voted on by the council for me to table this event with her on behalf of District 75. On it's in May 23rd, I'm going to the CEC legislative dinner in the evening for CEC 11, which is where I also reside in District 11, and I will be representing the council there as well. So I'm also taking my father to a surgery on this Friday. So as you can see, my schedule is very hefty. So that's the update I have. And also, I recently temporarily became the co-chair of the district leadership team to finish the work that needs to be done because the president of President's Council is not able to complete the task due to multiple responsibilities. So I am the temporary chair or sort of like co-chair because I have another parent helping me that's on President's Council too, that's going to assist me to help do the DLT work, the rest of it that needs to be done for June and even throughout the summer, because we do have meetings throughout the summer for DLT sometimes. And this is going to be one of those summers that we're going to probably have a DLT meeting, okay? Because certain things are not finalized, like the bylaws and stuff, and I got to help complete that. So now that I'm the temporary chair. So that's basically pretty much the updates I have for now, which is a lot. One more update in regards to our June meeting. I just want to make an announcement that it will be June 12th. That will be our last meeting for the first term of this council in completion as the budget goes out and we complete the first year, which is my entire year for me. I've been here the whole year. And my fellow council members who came on board throughout the year. This is the end of our first term. And the next and last meeting after this one for the first term will be June 12th at Principal John Syracuse School at P596X at the main site of his school. Further details will be announced and everything will go out in a timely manner in regards to the meeting. And that's it for me.
Okay.
That's a long report. Is the
Thank you so much.
superintendent here yet or a rep? It's not
He
even
is here, but we
7:30.
have
It says 7:30.
yes, and I have a couple of other things I want to add on to that.
Go ahead.
And floor over. Thank you so much for those updates, Co-President Daniels. I did want to remind the council, if you have not put in your nominations for our awards for the end of the year, please do. If you need the link bumped up, let myself or Haleen know. We do want to get your voices heard in regard to who is being nominated for our awards.
I'm going to need the link bumped up to me for sure.
Thank you so much, Co-President Daniels. So we will bump that link up. We want to have this completed by Friday. It should have been done, I think by the 12th. In that regard, we're going to try to close this loop on Friday so that we can go ahead and send out the remainder of the invitations, which is to the nominees. Additionally, if you have not filled out the annual parent survey as council members, we do want to have your voice included in that. Please do take a moment to do that survey. We will also make sure to bump that up. Updates. In our last meeting, we did vote for the 360 photo booth in addition to the massage. I wanted to let the council know that we have hit a bit of a wall there. We were told that these items are gifts to our awardees. I'm not quite sure how photography is a gift. We were using the masseuse in regard to wellness. With that being said, our senior grants officer, in addition to the P-card unit, is reaching out to the lawyers in the system to see if this is something that we still can do. If not, if we get a no, we can use the remainder of the funds for decorations or something of that regard. As you know, if we do not use our funds, they just get reabsorbed and given back to us next year. So we want to try to make sure that we are following protocol, but that we can get some things done and use our funds accordingly. In addition to that, our public advocate, as we know, we are losing Mr. Herman next month. And we do not have our secondary public advocate. I was speaking with the public advocate's office. I was advised that we should have an update within 2 weeks. And I was also requested to ask if we have any people that we would like to suggest as public advocates, so we can also make sure that we put that forward. Haleen will be sending out our vacancy update again. In addition, we have reached out to the President's Council to see how their the forum interviews that they've been doing has been going, and if they have any suggestions also to help us fill the vacancies that are currently on the council. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Vice President Christy Montalvan for attending Senator Lanza's Special Needs Resource Fair. She was there with members, inclusive of P373R students. They were there too, separate from us, but they were there. So we are grateful that we had District 75 students there, that our Vice President and Co-Chair of Outreach was there. We thank you for all of our members who are jumping into the gap and jumping into outreach and making sure that we have our hands in the spaces that we need to have them in. With that being said, we can now move on.
Co-President Christy Angel, I forgot 2 more updates. I apologize.
Okay, I will give the floor over to you now, Co-President Daniels.
All right, so there was a big District 75 event on May 11th that a couple of council members went to. I was there with my daughter. You had Council Member Jamaica Collins there with her son. You had Council Member Vanessa Barrero. She was president with her entire family, her husband and kids. So we wasn't tabling or nothing like that, but we did show out to the event. So the council was represented pretty well, just to let you know. And at the Bronx Week Parade on Sunday, we had 5 council members registered, including myself, and that is Vanessa Barrero, Shanique Johnson, Butler, I'm sorry, excuse me, I apologize, Miss Butler, Shanique Butler, I keep forgetting, Miss Jamaica Collins, and Breesa Arias signed up too. So I know at least 4 out of 5 of us will show up. I'm hoping it'll be all 5, but even if it's just the 4 of us, we good. That's like about half of the council right now. Christy Angel, you're muted. And I see you trying to talk.
Appreciate you. Thank you for your update, Co-President Daniels, and thank you for looking out just now. I do see that we have Superintendent Kettler present. I do know that Deputy Kleinberg and or Hoggard might be speaking first. I am not sure who wants to unmic and start their portion of the presentation, but you do have the floor.
Okay. Good evening,
Hold
everyone.
on a second. I'm sorry, Kettler and Co-President Christy Angel. We didn't check on the interpretation rooms yet.
We aren't there yet.
Okay, you sure? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So good evening again. We are always happy to come into this space where we get to meet, sharing updates, making plans for the future of our work together. I know I am not here alone. The whole leadership of the district is here. The deputy superintendents are here. The borough liaison are here, listening to you, to your concern, to your recommendation and suggestion, because as I always say, we are better together. And this is a work we want to continue to do with you. And because there is no we without you, or there is no us without you, we want to be partnering with you all the time and collaborating with you to make sure we continue to improve the district from within. I know my team members here are ready to speak to you as well. I just wanted to really tell you how excited that I am as a superintendent when I go across the district, when I am talking to principal families. Not too long ago, I believe last week, we were at 721Q for the ribbon cutting of a brand new apartment. Let me tell you, please make it your business to visit that apartment. Brand new appliances, state of the art, everything in there, and it was donated to the school by elected officials, and the borough, Queensborough president played a major part in that. This is the work we want to continue to do across the district, affording our students, our children, the opportunity to learn some life skill, and also to learn some other skills that can help them when they leave our school. We also have, as you know, and as Co-President Daniel just indicated here, a big program in the Bronx last Saturday. We have a very robust collaboration with the Bronx Borough President. And I'm asking you, we need your support. I don't know, some of you may have connection with the other borough president. We want to go to them as well and get some of their resources to bring into the district to better serve our children. And she was there with us last Saturday morning for the Bronx and the Bronx District 75 field day that we had in collaboration with the borough president office. We had over 400 families there. And this is really what we want to see. We're not satisfied, folks, with 400. We have 26,000 families in District 75. We want to have event where the minimum should be 1,000 to 3,000. That's when we will be more or less a little bit satisfied. What we need to do is each one bring one. Like Co-President Angel just said, we need to find a way to support our parents. And I think that parent support group is really an awesome idea, because our parents are dealing with a lot of difficulties. If we can support them, parent to parent is very powerful. I don't want to monopolize the time. I have so much to tell you. What I am telling you though, I am extremely confident as a superintendent, not only because all the superintendents in the district spend a day in District 75 and give us rave review, but it's because I have been an eyewitness to the work that is happening in our school. I just came from a sad event, but yet the school was there surrounding the family with the love. Every staff in the school will show up, wear pink for the students. And so the family really was lifted. And that's what we are. We are a family, and we're gonna continue to do so. I know I am not perfect as a superintendent. I need you to get me closer and closer to that perfection by helping me, by helping the district, by holding our hands, because that road of educating children in District 75, it's not something we want to do just by ourselves. I'm also excited because I got pictures from a big parent retreat that 596X had in the Bronx. Many parents left the city and went all the way to upstate, parents together to learn about team building, resilience, mindfulness. This is the kind of work we want to expand. You can take any school in District 75. We have great program going there, but we need those programs to get even better. If a student leaves District 75, as I always say, and goes home, doesn't go to college, doesn't get a job, doesn't continue to learn about vocational skills, then we have failed. We have failed. And that's not something that I want to happen. I know Deputy Superintendent Kleinberg and Deputy Superintendent Hogan are here. I know they wanted to step in because I wasn't sure if I would be able to attend. So I want to be respectful and pass the mic or the floor to them at this point. But if they don't jump in, I still have much more to share with you, but I don't want to be talking too much.
There is no too much from our superintendent, so please do give us the information that you have.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Tomorrow, folks, Chancellor Banks will be, we will be having a superintendent meeting, not for me, for all superintendents across the city. Let me tell you what this meeting is about. It's under the leadership of Chief Christina Fody, who is doing great work supporting special education across the city and partnering with District 75. We are so very excited. Tomorrow, we will be at Brooklyn Law, all superintendent, because they're gonna challenge each and every one of us to find ways to afford related services at high level, or to offer them at high level to our students. They're gonna check each district across the city data. They're gonna put us on blast. And because that's one of the commitments that the chancellor made to families, to make sure every student in the system that is entitled to related services is receiving their mandated related services. And also programmatic report will be done as well to know who are we putting in front of our children. Do they have the proper licensing? Are they prepared to teach? Do they have the proper training and all that? Miss Irizarry Ramirez, I see you raise your hand. I'm gonna defer to the two co-presidents here to recognize you. And so, or I can continue.
Let me take one moment to check in. I was just advised there are no participants in our translation rooms. Can we verify that with Spanish, Bangla, and Mandarin, please? Interpreters, do you have participants in your rooms currently?
Co-president, this interpreter does not have no information on anyone there. We can ask on in our audio line if you like.
Yes, I just want to double check that we do have participants there. If not, we might be able to release you a little bit early if there's no one actively on the line.
Tenemos participantes aquí en la línea en español. ¿Hay alguien que está escuchando en español? There is no response from anyone on the line that they're listening in Spanish.
Okay, thank you. Bangla, would you be able to double check for us as well?
Yes, I just checked and there was no response from any of the participants.
Okay, thank you. And for Mandarin?
Yes, I have checked and no response either.
All right. With that being said, we only have probably 30 minutes left within the meeting. We will go ahead and release our interpreters at 7:35 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Moving back over to our district reports. I know I'm talking about President, Lord Jesus, Superintendent Keller, if you need to round out what you were saying or pass the floor forward, you have the floor.
Oh, let me just finish, and Madam Co-President, you can recognize the hand that are raised. What I was saying is that how proud we are for the work we have seen across the school. We know there is room for improvement, and we will never rest on our laurel. I want to lift up every member here of our team that is working hard on behalf of our children. Today again and yesterday we had the spelling bee, and so it's so heartwarming to see our children standing on the stage. Folks, it's not easy. It is not easy, I'm telling you, to stand on the stage. I always have stage fright when I am talking in front of a big crowd, and our children standing there spelling words. This is really a sight to see. They had the elementary yesterday, and today they had the middle school spelling bee. And so please, that's why we share our calendar of event with you. We need you there. We need you there as our partner. We need you there to cheer our children on the sideline, because really they were all winners today and yesterday because they are brave, they are courageous, and they just stood there and delivered. I don't know if Shelley can unmute herself or
I
if
can now.
Marlon,
Oh,
or you
I
can
can
now.
now. So
But
that
I
was a
do,
perfect segue, Superintendent
good
Louison.
then. Then I
Yes.
am passing it on right to you, but I know we won't make time to recognize the hands that are raised.
Yeah, would you like me to continue or would you like me to pause, Co-President Angel?
Please continue.
Okay, so Superintendent Louison, it gave a perfect segue, as I said, into what I did want to speak to you about, because we are so excited about the continued literacy learning that is going on in our district. Last month, I did spend a little bit of time speaking to you about some strategies at home, and I wanted to continue doing so this month, linked directly to the spelling bee that Superintendent Louison was just speaking about. We are so very proud of our tremendous spellers that have showcased their work over these past 2 days, and I'm very proud to announce both our elementary and our middle schools that had winning students in the bees. So in our elementary school bee yesterday, first place went to Joseph at 596X, second place to Nathan at 10X, and third place to Jacob at 186X. And the championship word was amused. AMUSED, amused. Middle school was today, so the excitement continued. First place went to Javon at 94M. Second place to Kamari at 771K. And third place to Royal at 372K. And today's championship word was syllable. SYLLABLE, syllable. So we are, to mirror the superintendent's words, so very proud of our spellers. It's so exciting for them to follow the process of having a school level spelling bee and then moving on to the district bee and to showcase their work on stage and be celebrated across the district. So we are very proud of them. And that leads into the strategy that I wanted to talk about for just a moment. When we think about the ways that we can continue to build the strategies that we're using in school into the home, one of the key areas of literacy development that we continuously want to reinforce is vocabulary. So much as I just shared with you, 2 of our spelling words that the students were able to spell, that is based on the vocabulary building that they're doing in their classroom with the books that they're reading, the curriculum that they're using, and the conversations that they're having every day. So as you are working with your children at home, we do encourage you to continue to read all different kinds of books with your students, storybooks, informational texts, etc., and reinforce the content and topic words that your child's learning in the daily conversations that you have. So for example, ask if you're talking about a specific concept, or if something comes up, or if a child asks you a question about something, you can ask, well, what do you know about whatever the topic is? Or can you describe a fill in the blank? Or tell me more about that topic. You can ask your child, what does the word mean? And if and whenever possible, share your own understanding of the word, because this will encourage your child to explore the word further and experience how it can be used in everyday conversations and interactions with others. We also encourage you to try the strategy of a word hunt with your child. Look for other words around you that may contain similar word parts and or other word meanings. So if we're talking about the word, for example, bear, it could be a BEAR, which would be the animal, or it could be a BARE, object, which means an object that is that does not have decorations or anything fancy on it, that is stripped of everything and is bare. So talking to your children about different definitions and the different ways that we can use words and language helps them to make connections, and it also helps them to advance in their phonics and phonemic awareness skills as well. So we will continue to talk through some more literacy strategies that you can build in the home during our next meeting. So please do bring any questions that you have to your school and to the teachers that are working with your students to think about the many ways that we can continue to explore literacy across contexts with our students. Thank you so much, as always, for inviting us to this space and sharing information and strategies with you. And I'm now going to turn the mic over to my colleague, Dr. Hoggard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shelley. Today we're going to talk a little bit about attendance. Attendance update. We're excited to say that we've made progress with attendance. We're up to 81.7%. And our goal as a district is to get to that 100% mark. That's our overall goal, and we will continue to push for that. But right now we're at 81.7%, so we've made progress. And to bring to you an update on our District 75 Arts program, I'm excited to state that 60 pieces of student artwork was on display at the gallery from March 6th through April 8th. On March 9th, we hosted an opening family celebration, and we had over 180 people attend the event. During open remarks, our students shared their passion for art. They shared their love for the artwork, and their inspiration for their pieces. Families, friends cheered and celebrated the students' work. The gallery was filled with joy and admiration. Guests were also invited to sing and dance along with our 373K students rock band, Friends and Frequency. The event included light refreshments catered by 79M's culinary art program. During the exhibition, we hosted multiple events for students and the New York City community to see the incredible artwork made by our students. Positive Exposure Gallery hosted a month of school field trips during the exhibition. We also hosted a community open house for D75 Arts Partners on April 3rd. During the partner event, 2 student artists showed up and another student was creating sculptures live. Positive Exposure also opened its doors to the public daily so that they could see the students' artwork, welcoming guests and visitors venturing to see the incredible work that our students produced. We are thrilled to note that over 650 people viewed the exhibition. Over 650 people. Our students were excited. We're all excited. And moving along to our D75 Film Festival, the District 75 Film Festival was designed to support student achievement in the areas of reading, creative writing, communication, and film proficiency, creating increased opportunities to elevate the voices of students. The annual D75 Film Festival took place May 7th at the MoMA and the Celeste Bartos Theater. MoMA generously donated the theater and students' field trips to the museum focused on film production. This year, the theme for the festival was Remix a Story or Reenact Your Favorite Book. 9 films were shown, representing the work of 174 students throughout our district. During the event, the audience watched the phenomenal films. After each film, students shared their process and engaged in a Q&A where they were asked questions by their peers about the film, about the process, about the steps they took when it came to creating a film. And through our transition office, transition update, transition and post-secondary planning, parent office hours are underway. In these sessions, we will answer any general transition questions that parents may have about accessing services and planning for the future for their children in the areas of education, employment, and independent living. Parents can participate in any sessions of choice. Specific questions about their child will not be answered in these sessions. to maintain confidentiality. However, if a parent has a specific transition question and or is not able to attend an office hour session, they can fill out a form that will be shared by Nora, by our parent office. The sessions, the office hours will be held on Saturday, May 18th, Wednesday, May 22nd, Wednesday, June 5th and 12th, and Saturday, June 15th. Throughout D75 Transition College and Career Fair, excuse me, I know the sirens are going off. The Office of Transition Services and Post-Secondary Planning Initiatives invite students and families to our Transition College and Career Fair on May 30th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Brooklyn Law School. Attend this event to learn more about post-high school services, programs, and college and career options that are available to students based on their strengths, interests, needs, and preference. Attendees will meet representatives from agencies, colleges, and career training program and learn more about higher education support services available for our students. Learn about other community resources that support student independence and success in areas of education, employment, and independent living. Any questions, please reach out to Natalie McQueen with any questions you may have. Thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our Family Engagement Office.
Good evening, everyone. Yep. Am I seeing myself? Yeah, okay. My camera's on, right? Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this space. I'm here to share the family engagement updates. Lots going on in District 75 this time of the year. It's just an exciting time for our district and our schools. I'll start off with sharing, as I always do when we're here together in this space, talking about our NICSA accounts. I share this every meeting when we're together. So that way, if you don't have a New York City Schools account, we continue to talk about it until we reach 100% of our District 70 families with this account. As of now, we have 67.4% of District 70 families with an activated New York City Schools account. We encourage our schools, we encourage you as a council, as a PA board, continue to encourage our families to access this account, to call their parent coordinator, get the necessary account creation code so that way they can have their New York City Schools account. We have been talking about this VIA app. You can't even see if it works for your child if you don't have a New York City Schools account. If you don't have the account, you can't even try and have this VIA account to track your child's busing. So first step is first. Make sure you call your parent coordinator and get that account creation code. Some really great happy news. I know we've been talking about parents coming together and sharing. Very excited to share how on May 4th, we had our third session of our parent peer groups at the district office. We had so many families join us. And I see actually in the participants here that we have photographer Claudia Chavez. I'm going to give her a shout out because it was an incredible session for our families. Our families walked away with a beautiful family photo. Our students came dressed up, or just lovely, positive, healthy feeling. They walked with they walked out with a frame and a professional, very touching picture session with their families. So yes, thank you, Claudia. Much appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you join us again the next Saturday session. It was a positive, a fun, informative day. It's wonderful when families come together, when parents come together with this feeling of coming together and sharing your experiences. Include NYC, we had an informative workshop, parenting a child with a disability and what it means to be the parent and have to, navigate our society, our communities. We had an assistant principal, Vanessa Graham, and school social worker, Yolanda Brahelica, facilitated a positive affirmation mindful session for the last hour of our time together. And our parents were able to end the day on a positive note and leave for the rest of their weekend you know, in such a healthy way. So if you weren't able to make it, I invite you to come on June 1st for our final session for this year. So please, you're all invited. I hope to see you and bring your families out. Claudia is going to be joining us again to take those pictures. So please, you're more than welcome to attend. In collaboration with My Brother's Keeper and the United Way, on May 11th, we also hosted the first ever bookmobile event at 75Q. I'm going to start off by saying a big thank you to Principal Thorbs and his team for assisting our district in hosting this magnificent event where we had guest readers, the United Way, Kathleen Lefevre coordinating this program on behalf of My Brother's Keeper. So much collaboration to provide such a wonderful and positive day for our district. On May 11th, we were a little divided. We had an event in the Bronx and in Queens, but our families showed up, and we appreciate your collaboration and your support in making these events so successful. We will continue to put these events together with your support. So we'd love to see our families together. And these were just two really great examples this weekend of this healthy, positive District 75 environment that we are trying to create here. Some informative sessions are coming up. Put on your calendar some virtual parent sessions. It's a FACE and District 75 collaboration as we welcome Generation Wealth for virtual parent series. This series will help parents reinforce their knowledge of personal finance. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30 on June 4th. It's going to be saving and investing for higher education. June 11th is budgeting and financial independence. And finally, PA and PT elections. Over the spring break, my partner, Ray Velez, who's the family leadership coordinator, and myself, we held PA and PT election office hours, 2 sessions, and we just went over the PA PT election best practices and the A660 regulations, chancellor's regulations. The PA elections are on their way. Many of our schools have completed their elections, are in the process of completing. We have several elections scheduled for the next few months. Our goal is to try to have all of our schools complete their elections, to start off the school year with your PA board in place. So that way you can start the 2024-2025 year in collaboration with parent leadership. Please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or to Ray Velez if you have any questions or if you need support with your PA elections. We're here to support, and President's Council as well. So thank you, families, and I hope you have a good night, and speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for those updates with the district. Do we have any further updates? I know Sacha is on. If not, I will move forward with our final bullet points before we move on to Q&A, but to public comment. If not, as always, thank you, district, for your support. Thank you for your updates and all the hard work that you are doing for the families and the communities and students within District 75. With that being said, I do want to let you know, I do recognize the 3 hands that are up. We're going to try to fly through this agenda very quickly so that you may have the floor. The next space on the agenda is the Treasury report. Haylene, would you be able to pull up the most recent budget for us?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Most importantly, while we wait as we wrap this up, I think everybody is pretty much up to speed in regard to sending in their reimbursements. If you do need any help, anyone that's left over, please do let us know. For those who have submitted, thank you so much for bringing us up to task with that. As you see, let's see if we can make, ooh, that's pretty big. We are on the final lines that we are spending will be parent involvement, and we do have the PO fully budgeted out for $3,000. With our member reimbursements, we have $9,490 left. we want to make sure that we use those items. And as we're looking at this budget, we do notice that we did have about $500 for conference registration fees. As we move into next year, when we're thinking about the budget, please do be aware that we do have this line where if you do go to conferences to continue your education and to continue your knowledge for our council, you can be reimbursed, and that will not be a part of your regular reimbursement. So outside of that, I did let you know that we do have the monies that we're going to be committed, about $790 for the masseuse and for the 360 photography. Also, I just want to segue in, Principal Syracuse has volunteered to help us with an additional photographer. So thank you so very much. I love us D75 Strong jumping in where we do need help. So right now with our budget, as I said, we have committed $14,236,000, and we do have $9,490 left within our reimbursements, along with the $439 that we will not be using for conference registration fees. So with that being said, Haylene, we do want to thank you so much for keeping our budget tight, for helping us with reimbursements, and for your diligent work that you've been doing in regard to assisting us with getting the awards dinner completed and accomplishing the different things that we need to have purchased. Thank you so very much for that. Are there any questions regarding the budget?
We have two more, let me turn this down, hold on. We have 3 more people that didn't submit all their reimbursements yet.
So our
Christy Montalbans just sent all of us today, but we in the meeting, so right now, neither one of us can't sign off on nothing yet, but we'll get it done. Breeza still has some reimbursements and John to turn in. Besides the last of June, we'll all do the rest in June for the rest of us.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So let's try to go ahead and pull that in. We wanted to make sure that we had this done by May 30th, because we also have June to get in and finalize in addition to the remainder of our budget. And we do not want to overwhelm our AA where we do not have to. So let's try to do our best to get that in for the council and for her. Moving forward, we had the committee reports. We did go over busing and outreach, and we did point on the annual report. We will make sure to bump up those surveys and nominations so we can close those items out. We did just do the reminder for reimbursements. Is there any unfinished business that we have not tapped into that is not on the agenda? Does anyone want to speak up about anything in regard to unfinished business?
Well, we're definitely gonna have to discuss absences if we get quorum at the last meeting for the first term. That's one of the things. All the other stuff we talked about, we got to add that to the next agenda, but we already discussed that in this recording. So we have a record of that already. So I don't really have nothing to say. Any other council members want to say something?
Hello. I would like to say that as it gets a little warmer, it's a lot of outside events. So I'll be meeting up with some of the assembly members and council members out and about while they speaking to the public to bring forth all our agendas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Butler. Haylene, can we make sure, since we're now moving into the new business, can we make sure you can pull down the agenda for us, but I mean the budget, but can we make sure to add the absences discussion? We do want to make sure, please look through your bylaws. Please know that we want you here, and we also are going by the rules here. We do need advance notice. We do need to have a reasoning with the notice. We are not able to just jump and be virtual because we want to. We do have to make sure as a council that we move one band, one sound. So let us try to do our best there. We will go ahead and work through the absences in our next meeting. Do we have any other items that we want to add to the agenda before we move into public comment to the agenda for our next meeting? If not, Please do know our emails are always open. You can put any ideas that you have down prior to the next meeting. With that being said, we can now move into our public Q&A session. We do have 1 minute per question that is up. We will start with Miss Susie Wong Benjamin. You now have the floor. Please unmute.
Hold on a second. Eileen was first.
The thing it shows Susie, Eileen, and then Shanique. I don't know if Miss Wong is able to unmute. Are you unmuted?
I hope so. I don't know.
Oh,
if
yes. Okay.
Okay, all right. Sorry, and I don't even know if this camera thing works. I don't even know if that's an option. But anyhow, I just wanted, can you turn your camera on here, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can turn your camera on. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see. Do you see me now or no?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyhow, I just wanted to say there's a few things. Of course, kudos to P596X and winning the spelling bee, and to Mr. John Syracuse, awesome principal. We love him. We had an amazing time at Camp Ramapo. That was wonderful. Miss Christie, you must forgive me because I actually meant to contact you in regards to that ongoing situation that we have with your CEC member. And that's something that I haven't forgotten, but I will be sure to follow up with you before the end of this week. As parents are being contacted, there's some concerns, and you already are aware of the NYPD and CSI investigation that is going.
Let me pause you. We that should be offline. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus or things of
I
that
just meant to
nature.
tell you that it was that I was going to follow up with you in case you
Yes,
thought.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We
That's all.
definitely follow up.
I'm just letting you know that
Okay.
I will be contacting you regarding that, and I appreciate your time. And I love the way you move the meeting along, so I'm going to let you move it along. But we do love the parent engagements. Many of our parents are very engaged and really well connected, and the school community is great. We want to keep it flowing that way. Shout out to our PTA.
Uh-oh, I think you muted yourself. Ms. Wong?
Our time was up.
Oh, no, the time is up. Oh, did we mute her?
No, I was done.
Oh, you were done. Okay. I
was done. I was done. Shout out to the PTA. That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Benjamin. We will make sure to touch offline this week for sure. I want to say Ms. Ramirez did give me your number too. So I am in joint with you. So I know when you call, you're linked into my phone already.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Miss Eileen Izari Ramirez, you have the floor.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Susie really stole what I was going to say. I just wanted to say that how wonderful Camp Ramapo was, how nice it was as a PTA president to get to work with each and every group. I was the floater, so I got to work with everyone, and just seeing how when one of our peers were pushed beyond what they felt were their limitations, the way each person in the group, whether they were close or not, rallied behind each other, and the way that the staff supported us. It was just an amazing event, and they already want to go all over again. And that's why I just wanted to, express that sentiment that it was an amazing trip. And I feel like anybody who missed it, I wish they were there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really proud about the team building that we're doing in different levels of District 75. And I'm grateful that different parents and, staff are able to get together and we can link and build. And I do know that FACE just sent something recently out for us to even do things virtually and in person. I am looking forward to it. The only way that we can link and build is to get together. So that's a beautiful thing. I thought we had one more hand raised. Do we have another hand or we do not?
It was Shanique Crooks. She put her hand down. I don't know why.
I don't believe she's in the meeting. Oh, she is still here. Ms. Crooks, do you have a comment? Yes, please unmute. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I just wanted to go ahead and say this is my first time in this meeting. There's so much interesting things that you guys have given me and information. Thank you. I do want to go ahead and say that last year I did not participate as much into any activities in the school, but thanks to the PTA at 596 and John Syracuse, we were able to go ahead and go to Camp Ramapo, and I was so excited about it. I've never been to camp ever in my entire life, and I learned so much about other parents and what they have been through, all the steps that they have taken to help support their children who are on the spectrum. And it was just a breath of fresh air just to go ahead and see the collaboration between John Syracuse and the PTA. And when I tell you all the parents, it was also a PT kind of moment where we literally were working out and we felt it everywhere. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you too. Do we have any other, I'm so grateful for all the feedback that our different members are giving us and seeing that our PTAs are really doing diligent work, and that our CEC reps are doing work, and our members, it just makes me feel great to be attached to District 75, to our council, to our superintendent and staff in Central. Do we have any further comments from council members or attendees for the meeting? If not, and all hearts and minds are clear, can I have well, we can't even vote. I'm going to go ahead and move that this meeting is adjourned at 8:08 p.m. This is an unofficial meeting. Even still, it will be recorded and uploaded onto our YouTube website, so the information is available for those who may have come late or for those who have missed the meeting. Thank you and have a great night. Please do stay safe. And have a great night.
Good deal, everyone.
Christian says thank you, everyone. All right, have a great night. Get home.
Have a good evening. Take care, Christian. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.